So while I'm refreshing my notes on what I want to do for pretty much at least the beginning of this year, this video is just going to be, as said, a test. So I'm going to be doing Cultist difficulty. Normally I'd go through Harbinger, but I just want to make sure that the idea is right. If nothing else, let's do Attack, because why not? So as we get into Attack, World of Horror, character exclusive custom character. This is actually the best draft that I have. This is not final. If it is final for whatever reason, well, I at least want to get a character out, but I'm more concentrating on the, not the balance, but kind of the balance, or the gameplay fun of this character, if nothing else, showing off that these spells are here. Now, an interesting thing, and I might as well say it now before I never notice this because usually a character's in the way. But for those who know the Stone Statue event, which I do have an event of the day is, so look that up on my channel if I'm to do some free advertising for a moment. But yeah, it is these spells, I think both of them really, but obviously Binding Agony cannot be cast outside of battle. So really we're looking at MEND, and if you run to Stone Statues, you actually can't cast this spell, so... And yeah, the spells might not fit this character completely, but I'm more... Again, it's more for funsies because no one else is really making a character with MEND and Binding Agony. If so, I would have known, or, you know, it would be out there. Because I could have also not have played characters that are currently available, but, well, let's just find out right now. So, cost 2 stamina, 1 reason. That, and I really hope I don't mess up that recording because that was really good luck. But, anywho... Happy New Year as well, if I didn't already say so. This is actually being recorded way earlier than the time that is said here, because I sometimes like to do that, sometimes I don't. It really depends. But let's grab something while we're here. None of these are really too great, but I will stick with the heavy-duty flashlight and we'll see. I don't know. I have still, to go off tangent for about 10 seconds, I still have not gotten used to fast weapons. I don't know what it is about it. On Harbinger, anyway. We're on Cultist, so I can use anything I want, if I can speak correctly. But on Harbinger, I don't know. I can't get the steak knife and or police revolver to work. Yeah, that's pretty much honest. Basically, I still think... well, I mean, yeah, they're kind of outliers in their... excuse me, as slot A items. But the heavy-duty flashlight and monkey wrench are still better. I just heavily believe that. Again, it's because I also believe less in RNG. If you happen to... Because with faster weapons, you get to dodge more often as not as well. That's just how much 10 time units contributes between the calculation for dodge compared to the calculation of brace. Dodge wins out by time units with the same number of stats. You get what I mean, though. It's easier to do dodge, prep attack, say... than it is to do brace prep attack, is what I'm trying to say. And again, that's with 2 things. Brace being nerfed and dodge being buffed. Did I say that correctly? Anywho. But yeah, if nothing else, these spells probably won't see any use because I actually don't use them as much. We're on Cultist difficulty, so you're definitely not going to see as much Binding Agony at least. But, as I had to cough and mute for a moment, MEND is probably going to be much more useful, in my opinion, on average, because you are, for some reason, I feel you're losing more reason in World of Horror. And so what happens is that you have a lot more stamina than you have reason. And if you're going to die to reason, you might as well cast MEND, and yeah, cast MEND. And I also don't have any low stamina, low reason stats yet. Again, I'm just testing the bare minimum. I could have actually handcuffed, but now that we're this far in... I'm still gonna do this. If I hit this, so be it. If not, maybe we go for a brace turn. Never mind, we do a lot of damage. I forgot. That's why... Oh, the reason why I didn't handcuff is because I didn't think I'd be doing that much damage. And I wasn't aware, so... Anywho. Because I swear it did not say 5 before, and if it did, I just assumed that I was doing 10 damage on a turn that... No, I would have been able to handcuff it. Anywho. Unfortunately, right now, I can't use MEND as much. Sorry. I can't use MEND as much, but that's because that boss was a stamina encounter. Here, we might be able to use it. I probably would, because I'm going to do Recluse, Akamanto into Ward, into Festival. Oh, well, ugh. Into Festival Ward? I guess so. But we'll do Recluse now. We have more than enough reason for it. As a, again, 4 to 7 knowledge character, even if you have 8 knowledge, it depends on your weapon, so severing the roommate here is probably going to be my go-to strat. Now, I am still going to be trading stamina for reason. I pretty much know a few of the events here to just guarantee stamina loss and or a little bit of reason gain, but mainly to avoid reason loss. So, as I said, just taking things so that I can be healthy on reason. And then we just brute force the roommate, which thankfully, again, roommate isn't as bad as I first thought in my first 30 minutes of thinking about roommate as a mystery. Now, that being said, you still have to kind of not plan your run around it, but a lot of your run preparation is, you do need at least some preparations or planning around this mystery. So it's still, I think it's still like at least top 5 bare minimum, but I still want to say top 3 because I think right after that would be, there's Flood definitely up there, and there's something else. Oh, Metamorphosis. I think Metamorphosis is my most, I'm not going to say it's the hardest mystery because that depends on your mystery combination as well somewhat, but if we were to give them all a fair, hey, which one do you want to go into? Because if you go into any mystery 1, you're probably going to survive. Although, with that as the threshold, I could heal 4 stamina here, but let's make it harder on myself on purpose. Yeah, but if I were to say, if you were unlucky in Metamorphosis, even if you survive Metamorphosis, say, you know, you take a lot of, because what might happen is that you take a lot of damage in events. That means yes, you can rest, but did I lose Bath, by the way? I did. If you rest a bunch, then you lose a lot of Doom still. That's just the bottom line. And so you've therefore lost as much reason anyway. You're just not dead immediately. So as I said, you're probably not going to immediately die. But Metamorphosis can cause, on average, a lot more HP loss, whether that's Doom, Stamina, or Reason. And it's mainly because of the boss. Either you're resting before the boss because you're not going to escape that. On Harbinger, you're not going to escape that boss as comfortably with 6 stamina, 6 reason. Then you are on safe. If you went to Festival or Scissors, you're probably going to do a lot better. Anywho. So we are losing a lot of stamina here, apparently. But we'll just take 3 stamina to the face. Never mind, I could have gone for a 1 turn, but we still get out. And I could rest here, but I don't feel like it. Also, this is also stamina, right? No, it's reason. Well, I guess. Again, Binding Agony is, I guess, the opposite of Mend in terms of its application. Where if you have a lot of reason, well, that's a more specific example, but the second priority is if you have a lot of reason, you don't have a lot of stamina, and you run to a 2 stamina, 3 stamina encounter, then you can use Binding Agony. But on Harbinger, it's much more useful because we're not going to be playing Harbinger here, so I might as well get back to the character as I say. Binding Agony, if you run into a 2-all, 3-all enemy, and you're there for about, I guess even 2 turns. Am I dead here, by the way? I might be dead here. I forgot to rest, and now I'm dead here, right? I am. Actually, no, I survived because we were doing the, I think I just did final, or whatever the heck it is. Well, anyway, let's actually apply it here. So what happens here? I cast Binding Agony once, and now it does -1 all. I don't think I can get him below that, right? But just for giggles, we'll try it, and then we'll see what happens. Because I think we're doing minimum. You still have to do minimum 1 all damage, although. And now I just want to see. If I die, so be it. I could throw the bottle of sludge. I just want to see what happens when he hits me here. Okay, he does still do -1 all damage. But even if we were doing -0 all damage, let's assume for a moment that Akamanto does. What you could end up... What can end up happening is that it'd still be balanced, I think. Because you're spending 6 reason to theoretically put... Because on Harbinger, everything does at least -2 damage. Unless you have Kana... But let's theorize for a moment. if it does if you get something down to 0 damage and you spend 6 reason, in World of Horror, that's pretty much still balanced, because that's a lot of reason damage to take. On Harbinger, I need to keep adding on Harbinger to the end of most of these statements, because it really only applies on Harbinger. But still, though, the application of Binding Agony? What am I going? Yeah, Binding Agony is very... It's not niche, but you are using it less often than I would say, but you still want to use it when it is optimal, is I guess is what I'm trying to say. Especially if you are taking too much stamina damage, I guess in this case. Whether that's just a stamina encounter, a stamina damaging enemy, or an all encounter, because then you would be saving -2 all overall. So, again, as I said before, if you're mainly missing stamina, you would cast Binding Agony. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, basically. So what I'm saying might not be completely optimal. I'm looking up in real life as I'm thinking about this. But I think there's still, at least we can think about what I'm saying as possible strategies, is what I'm trying to say. If for no one else, I'm just talking to myself here, so I'm shrugging in real life as I am thinking. I should also have equipped the box cutter. A bit too late now. Will it matter? Kind of. 97, 97. If I miss, I guess we die. Or I could try to forget a spell, or I could have also tried to cast Ghostly Spear. We are on Cultist, and we have a lot of max stamina to give away. But as we get close to dying here, I could rest here. I will rest and ward, that's for certain, but let's just reveal ourselves and take the hasty aid, because I would rather that. Well, we're about to enter ward, but rather that than cut artery, because then I have to go in and get rid of it. Again, I have a lot of doom here, so as long as I make it to ward, I'm fine. Even if we have the fetid fumes, which we did. I was gonna say do, and I mixed those two words together. But yeah, we got it mystery. We got fetid fumes mystery 1. We got no more baths after mystery 2, and then we get a time skip. But I could also just heal reason here as well. In fact, I will. Even though we're taking folklore studies, it's not like we get any other choices. And away we go. So I will want to equip the box cutters at the end of this mystery. At the same time, we'll just top ourselves off here. We still have 37% doom. I could grab painkillers. We could do a whole bunch of other stuff. We're perfectly fine. That was pretty close, though. I'm not going to say I never lose a cultist run, mainly because I sometimes still joke around, and that can end up getting you killed on cultist difficulty, but it is still my win rate is like at 95% minimum, so take that as you will. We'll just happily eat. Again, I do things like this, and this is by far the least egregious thing I've done on cultist difficulty. Otherwise, I would have made more videos about cultist difficulty. But anywho, that's enough about that. Now, again, not much else to say aside from the stat spread of this character, which, I mean, is kind of interesting if you want to look at it. Do I have a curse, by the way? I don't. Because oftentimes you don't really have a character that only has perception or knowledge. Usually, a character with perception and or knowledge has the other stat in kind, if that makes any sense. That's just something I've noticed with custom characters. Now, not every character, but more than at least a few handfuls. Basically, what I'm saying is you don't often have a character with strength and perception. That's really what we're talking about. Or, you know, strength and charisma, perception and knowledge. And if there are characters like that, it's either they have all of their stats high or all of their stats low. Otherwise, again, usually there's a stat spread. And it kind of makes sense, especially if you're trying to immerse yourself. But hey. Can we get out here, by the way? I'm just going to eat this in the face, by the way. By the way. But more importantly, we should be able to switch to the box cutter and immediately do a thing. Now, that was a downtown enemy, so let's see if we get a hospital enemy, or we can just get Yasugi-san first. That is cool as well. And as a little side note, I don't know if I'm going to be putting out the mod I was planning because I got sick and that kind of ruined my scheduling. But as we take this nurse encounter... Yeah, we should be fine here. If I make it to the lighthouse, I'll be perfectly good. Now, I probably should not have used the box cutters here, but it's a bit too late now. So we're just gonna do this. I might as well just guarantee this. I have the Hermit with me, but is that really for the best? Well, in any case, as long as I don't mess up this handcuff play, I should be pretty good. I think this is guaranteed, right? Yeah, this is guaranteed. This is 24 damage. I might even just one-shot it, but let's just handcuff just to be safe. And I lost reason because I have too many spells, so whoops. But we can't just sit on this level because we'll likely heal stamina, but we'll just sit on it anyway because I don't really have... I could put knowledge or dexterity to 8, but the point of the matter is I should be perfectly fine here because we have 46% doom, and yeah, let's see what happens. Knowledge, charisma, light, strength, second... Did I even check the lighthouse, by the way? Well, I do have the 6th floor, but it doesn't matter. So, yeah, we'll level up here. I don't even remember what the lighthouse checks were exactly. I know I lose like 6 stamina-ish, but... And the reason we heal stamina here is because it grants us more HP overall compared to just putting a stat to 8. On Harbinger, you want to put a stat to 8 because you only heal 2 stamina or reason during level up. I was about to say in the lighthouse. During level up, but like I said, on Cultist difficulty or elsewhere, you can just straight up heal HP. So, unless you really need the stat to break a threshold, but often that's not the case. Again, just do anything you want on Cultist difficulty or below. True Believer, you kind of need to start paying attention, but the enemies doing less damage is really not a deal breaker, I guess more a deal maker, if we're to talk about it. But in any case, yeah, I'll be working on this character. I don't know if they're coming out soon, but I'll be working on her. So, without further ado, I guess I'll see you later. And no end screen, I'll just leave you on that. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to support me. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you for watching.